This shirt says do it for the Vine, but when I sit like this, it looks like it just says do it, which by itself just seems very aggressive. I'm sorry. Hey little stinkers, welcome back to the first and only channel on YouTube. I know what you're thinking. 2 videos in 1 week? Who's this guy and what did he do with Drew? But rest assured, this is me. So today I'm gonna be reacting to my old Vines. This is something I thought of all on my own, and I've never seen anyone else do before, so I'm excited to be the first. Just kidding, obviously. Literally every Viner turned YouTuber has done one of these at some point, and for a good reason. They get hella views. I've actually wanted to do this for a while, but I was waiting for the right time, and the reason this is the right time is because I recently hit a very important and specific milestone that is special to me. 407,000 subscribers. That probably sounded like a joke, but it's not. 407,000 is the number of Vine followers I had when Vine closed down. No matter what, I'm always gonna owe my start to Vine. But to get to this point now where I can definitively and quantifiably say, I can point to a number that shows I took what I had on Vine and improved on it and moved to a platform that I think I'm better at, and that showcases my comedic sensibilities in a more complete way, and then also I've turned into a career. It's just surreal, it really is. So in honor of this milestone, I'm gonna be watching whatever nonsense I made when I was 21 while acting like I'm somehow better than that, even though I'm the exact same person now. So let's just jump into it. All right, Drew Gooden Vine compilation. I don't wanna just watch my own because I don't include some of the ones that I don't think are as good. I'd rather watch one that's just like all my Vines from start to finish. So I'll do this one, best Vine videos. Oh my God, we're like 5 seconds in and it's already full on cringe. I'm sorry, guys.
Hey Peyton McCole, if you're watching this, you are a butthead and you don't know how to swim.
Peyton was such a bitch. I mean, sometimes you gotta put people in their place, and if you knew Peyton, you'd understand. Holy shit, she was the worst.
I know how to swim, and I'm not obnoxious, and at least I've had a boyfriend, because you're so stupid.
Oh, this is so cringe. This is so cringe. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what I was thinking when I made most of these.
Country boy, I love you.
People used to make fun of me for this all the time, and I didn't appreciate that, okay? I was just a kid back then. What did I know? All right, I thought I could sing, I thought I looked cool, and I loved that country boy.
Dominic Sarah is hot and sexy. He's number 3, and he kissed me on the lips.
Dude, I was so boy crazy back then. It's hard to, like, this was obviously before I met Amanda. I met Amanda through Vine, but then to like see how different I am now, see how much I've matured, how much I've changed, like, I don't have any of these clothes anymore. I don't know whose mom that is. I don't think that's my dog. Wait, who's that dog? Whose fucking dog is this? What the hell? This isn't me. Okay, so I figured out what happened yesterday. That wasn't me. It was a little girl. Yeah, I was watching all those Vines and I was like, I don't remember making any of these, but I didn't want to look like an idiot, so I just went along with it. But I guess I really look like an idiot now. I'll probably just cut that part out of the video. But don't worry, today I made sure, I double checked already, I made sure that these are me. These are my Vines. So from here on out, it will be authentic Drew Gooden Vines. I'm so sorry about that. When Vine was around, if you made it back to my very first Vine, at least my first like Vine that's still public, you'd see this.
If you're serious about mayonnaise, then, you know, you need to use Duke's.
This was a commercial for Duke's mayonnaise, which is like funny enough as it is. But then to the expression, if you're serious about mayonnaise, which no one's that serious about mayonnaise, it's mayonnaise, then, you know, you need to use Duke's. And they were just like, all right, perfect. we got it. That's going on TV. And then I remember one night after improv class, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna make Vines. I'm gonna take this seriously. It was January 2015. That moment when you're having sex and it feels real good. And thanks for watching my Vine. Follow me on Vine for more. It was like right away, I was just doing like anti-humor.
Oh, it's called the weekend because it's at the end of the week. Honey, stop changing the subject. Answer my question.
That was probably my least liked Vine because it doesn't really make sense. One thing I've always find really funny is like non sequiturs to begin a scene. Like you cut into a scene and it's the middle of the scene. So you don't start from the beginning of a conversation, you start from the middle of the conversation. And it's funny to start at a certain point, because it implies what was just said. Because that implies I was like, will you marry me? And she's like, I don't know. You know what's weird? The weekend. Why do they call it that? You know. The more I explain it, the less funny it gets. Some of the ones before this were good, but this was the first one to get any traction.
This is my favorite shirt. We have so much in common. We even have the same nemesis, Jeff Daniels.
That was the first Vine I made where I was like, I watched it and I was like, this is good. I know what I'm doing. I think a lot of the ideas for these were funny, but I just didn't always execute them well. And that was true up until even like some of my last Vines. One of my favorite Vines, or my favorite ideas was...
Hi, it's Vince with Sham Wow. You'll be saying wow every time you use this towel. It's like a chamois, it's like a towel.
I've had the idea of like doing something with a closed caption writer, because it's such a, first of all, most stressful job in the world. Gotta be, right? You gotta type really fucking fast. And what happens if you get behind? What happens if you go to the bathroom? You know? What a weird, crazy, stressful job. But like this poor guy who only has one finger left, it's just like, oh, fuck. I just wish I had like framed the shot better. I was kind of lazy when it came to things like that. But had I just made this look better, this would have been a really good Vine.
Right, guys, I've got some chores for you to do. Wait, what are you doing with those? Don't do that. Get the fuck away.
That's a funny idea. The idea of like spending so much money on clones. I spent my entire life savings to have 2 clones, and finally, like, I can just chill, right? One of them goes to work for me, the other one goes shopping for me, attends social events so I don't have to, and I can just stay home and fucking play video games. But then I walk in like, all right, and they're just 69ing. That's so funny. That's hilarious. Is my hubris showing? I'm sorry.
Hey, you wanna watch Spider-Man 2? I can't. I haven't seen the first one.
I remember my original idea for this was much longer than this, and it wasn't. This was before I had a grasp on like what I could fit in 6.5 seconds. But it was like, hey, you want to watch Spider-Man 3? I can't. I haven't seen the second one. Oh, you want to watch Spider-Man 2? I can't. I haven't seen the first one. And it was gonna be like, oh, well that sucks. Which isn't funny. The only thing funny about this is like to reveal. To the slide, and the other one is under it. So now we're a few months in. I had started to build a little bit of a following, and I started to feel pressure that I hadn't really felt before. You know, when I had no followers, I could post something, and if I didn't like it, I could delete it. No one ever saw it, whatever. But now it's like, oh, I gotta post the best stuff only, you know? Like, this was the first time I had bought props for a Vine, because, you know, I was big time now. I had 20,000 followers. And I bought all these, like, fridge magnets, because I thought the idea of telling a punchline in front of a fridge where I'm spelling out the punchline or whatever, I thought that was really funny. So the first one is kind of funny.
When you show up late to the party, but there's still some Triscuits left.
The second one is not funny at all.
Oh, when your dad won't stop asking you about lacrosse practice.
And I think the best comments I got on that were like, people tagging their friends they play lacrosse with. It wasn't even like, this is funny. It's like, he said lacrosse. That's the thing we do. And then in this third one, Amanda always tells me that I look very sickly.
When you get sad a lot, but you don't know why.
And I agree with that. I don't know why I look like I have been starving myself for years. One of the Vines, or multiple Vines that I'm proudest of, are these Wendy's pranks.
I have a question. Is Wendy working today? Bro, you didn't roll your window down. What? Is Wendy working today? I think they're closed. Yeah, me too. Hey, is Wendy working today? Dude, I think we're at Taco Bell.
What? How? Because I had that idea for a long time, and then it was just a matter of doing it. And I'm very shy. I'm a little bit less so now, but especially back then, it was like, I wasn't actually gonna go up to a drive-through window and like say, hey, is Wendy working today, and get their real response. So many people do stuff like that, and I applaud them for their balls, but I don't have any. I got them removed. I was neutered. So the only way I could do this was if I drove up to the drive-through while they were closed. But the thing about the Wendy's by my house is that they closed at 4 a.m. I set an alarm for like 3:30, and I got up and I went out and did this at almost 5 a.m. And then I went to Taco Bell, which was also closed, and I did this. And then I came home and I was giggling, I was editing, I was doing the voiceover for the other character that was behind the camera. I was just like, oh, I'm so funny, and it's the middle of the night, and I'm so crazy for doing this at nighttime. I was such a dweeb, but not anymore. I'm very cool and smart now. So during this time, I had already met Amanda. If you guys don't know who Amanda is, I know I've said her name a couple times throughout this video. She is my fiance. I met her on Vine. If you want to hear the whole story about that, it's in my Vine video, Vine Where Are They Now? Anyway, this was the first time we met. This was like our second day together, and I was like, well, I gotta get some content out of this.
No, I'm sorry. I can't. I'm not interested.
The joke being that I was expecting to see Ryan from High School Musical and was disappointed to see it was a beautiful woman.
If you're tired of the convenience and practicality of bottled water, then you gotta try water in your hands. Water in your hands. Make a mess.
A little behind the scenes from that Vine. This shot here, where the water comes out onto my hands. So picture this, right? I'm alone in my room. Both my hands are occupied, but I need to somehow pour water into them. And I'm certainly not gonna ask someone for help, right? How did I get the water to fall into my hands? See, not a lot of people thought about this. I had to put it in my mouth and spit it out onto my hands. So Amanda had a coupon to get professional pictures taken at like JCPenney or something. And we, being the weird couple that we are, didn't want to take like good, sincere pictures. She bought these shirts online, these matching Chewbacca shirts. This is probably, looking back, if I had to pick one Vine, that was my favorite. I think maybe this is my favorite.
The bathroom's right in here.
I placed a secret hidden camera in the bathroom to catch Akmal with his pants down.
Why is there a guy in here?
It's just such a funny visual gag, like a secret hidden camera, and he goes, and I'm thinking like, ooh, I'm gonna get him good. And he just sees a fucking dude with a camera.
Yo, dumbass, get over here.
Okay.
I'm coming.
I thought I was dumbass.
I thought I was dumbass. The story behind that one is I had a coworker, Jimmy, who was like 50-something, nice, super nice guy, but he'd always call me kiddo. Because I don't know, I think he just forgot my name. So he'd be like, hey kiddo, can you bring me the tool? So then a few days into the first job I did with this company, the lighting guy, Eric, came. And he wasn't my age, he was a little bit older, but he was relatively young, right? And then I overheard Jimmy call him kiddo. And I had this like fake moment of like, oh, I thought I was kiddo. I just thought that was so funny because it's like, it's kind of a condescending nickname to be like, hey kid, come wipe my butt for me, which was easily the worst part of that job.
Coming up, Mark reaches a breaking point.
And Jerry! I remember having such high hopes for this Vine. I was like, oh, it's gonna get on the comedy page, it's gonna blow up. It's so funny. And look, I put peanut butter myself. I really went the extra mile for this. And it fucking tanked. And honestly, it is kind of funny, but I think it's one of those things where, in my head, I thought people would applaud the fact that I rubbed peanut butter all over my chest, but I think it was off-putting that I rubbed peanut butter all over my chest.
Hey, wait up!
Can't stop, lady.
But I'll kiss you.
Gross. That's my favorite Vine I made with Amanda. The shoes, the empty shoes, and the screech sound effect. So this Vine, out of context, makes absolutely no sense. But I was on the news. I was on the local news. Now that Vine's over and I have nothing in my life, I'm going to walk into it. Hey guys, so now I'm 2 ducks. So I met this reporter, her name was Caitlin Jones, I believe. I met her downtown, and the camera guy was there, and I don't think he said a word the whole time. I felt so awkward because they were like, well, could you kind of talk us through the process of making a Vine and then make one here? And it's like, so you want to film me coming up with a Vine that's not going to be funny because I'm just pulling it out of my ass. And so I was like, all right, well, here, I'll do one purposely bad, I guess. And so this is what I came up with. So then picture this grown woman who's trying to humor me and trying to be like, yeah, this is cool that you did this, and you're very funny for sure. And then this guy who just doesn't give a shit, he's just there holding a big heavy camera, and they're just watching me shit post. Such a funny day. Road work ahead? Yeah, I sure hope it does. It's from the picture, from the paint art. The reason I love this Vine so much, it's not my best Vine, I don't think. I think I have 10, 15 Vines easily that are better than this one. But this one is so quotable. And because it's something that anyone could have said, right? It's just an observation. You see road work ahead signs everywhere, and especially after seeing this Vine, you see them all over the place. You start to notice them more. Every time I see it, I think of the Vine, and it's cool to have impacted so many people from just such a small quote. I think this is the Vine that has shown me the impact that posting something online that people resonate with can do. I don't remember how I started that sentence. My favorite video anyone's ever sent me is this one from a school. I came up with a thing, and then all these kids know it off the top of their head. You know, there's so many quotable Vines that will live on forever because they're, you know, you say it and people can finish the quote or they know exactly what you're referencing. And I'm so happy that even if this is like the only Vine that's like that, the only Vine of mine that's like that I can be one of those Vines.
I sure hope it does.
You can post something, a video on the internet, and then it can just change your life. Like a few years ago, I was so directionless. I had no idea what I was doing with my life. And I made excuses for a long time, like, oh, I would be good at Vine, I would be good at YouTube, but I'm not gonna do it. Like, I would come up with ideas, but I wouldn't do them. And then one day I stopped making excuses and I just started, and then a few months later, and I sucked at it too, right away. I wasn't good. So like, dude, if you're out there, I'm gonna try to make this motivational. If you're out there and you're trying to make videos and you feel like they're not very good and you could improve on them, don't like lose hope. Like if you think like I can do better than this, I don't know why these aren't good, just keep fucking doing it. Like everyone is bad at everything the first time they do it. If no one's watching you, that's great. That means if you post something stupid, no one sees it. Just delete it and keep trying. And you'll eventually, if you get lucky, you know, and you just keep working at it, eventually I think you can break through and reach an audience. So shoot your shot, baby. Go out there, seize the day, carpe the diem, and just do it. I wasn't expecting to go on some like motivational speech rant there, but you know, when you feel something in the moment, you just gotta do it. And I feel good. You know, I feel inspired. Every time I watch my old Vines, I think about all the shit I've done in the past few years, and I just feel like anything's possible. And I want to spread that to the world, you know? I feel great right now. Sure would suck if I had to interrupt this nice moment by doing like a brand deal or something. Hey guys, today's video is brought to you by Skillshare. Guys, if you don't know what Skillshare is, it's basically like going to college, except it's way cheaper, it's all online, and you don't get invited to any frat parties. Actually, when I went to college, I didn't get invited to any frat parties either, so they're actually very similar. For less than $10 a month, you get unlimited access to thousands of online classes, and they're about so many different topics: filmmaking, art, graphic design, skateboarding. No matter what you're interested in getting better at, Skillshare is gonna have a class for you. Specifically for me, I'm trying to learn more like visual editing with After Effects, but every time I go in After Effects, I feel like I'm trying to read another language. Like it's so goddamn confusing. So I was like, let me check Skillshare. Maybe they'll have a couple classes. I searched After Effects. They have 698 classes on After Effects. And I'm gonna watch every single one of them. And I know what you're thinking, Drew, $10 a month, where do I sign? But hold up, I got an even better offer for you. Okay, because the first 1,000 people, you could be one of them, to use my code in the description gets their first 2 months for just 99 cents. That costs less than if you were to buy something that costed more than that. But maybe you're still not sold. Maybe you're thinking, Drew, you know, that sounds nice and all, but I don't really want to learn how to edit or how to do photography or cook. The only thing I'm really interested in learning more about is how to forge medieval weapons out of steel. And surely they don't have a bunch of classes on blacksmithing. Well, you're wrong. Because my boy Ron Payne hooked it up with over an hour's worth of blacksmithing tutorials. Yeah, you can learn anything on this website. So again, if you're interested, click my link in the description for your first 2 months of unlimited access for only 99 cents. Thank you so much to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Guys, I will try to be back next week. Thank you so much for all your support, especially those of you who have followed me here from my Vine days, and you've followed my content for years now, and you've seen how I've evolved and gotten better at some things and worse at other things, and had long periods where my content wasn't as good, which is inevitable because that's just the kind of person I am. 407,000 subscribers was a big personal milestone for me, but it also means we're close to 500,000. I just said we're close. That's like my biggest pet peeve, when YouTubers refer to themselves as if they're multiple people. And they say, we just did, and I just did it. I'm becoming the thing I hate. So I'll see you guys next time, and I'll see you next time. I just realized that this is my 100,000 subscriber plaque. You can't even fucking see it, because it's just a big ball of light right now. I'm so stupid. Why does anyone follow me? I don't understand.